Hey guys, on this episode of Mugg Customs, we're going to break down the total cost of the Broncovic and see if this is something that you'd want to take on in your own garage. Also, we're going to go ahead and start a new project, because what else are we going to do? Okay, so one of the most asked questions I get about this, other than why, how much did it cost? This might get depressing. Okay, so the Bronco was $200. Alan tried to give me the thing. He spent all day working on it with me. I'm not gonna work for less than $200 a day. I don't expect him to. So I got 200 in the Bronco. We bought the Crown Vic for $250. You know, those people were just wanting it hauled off their property from the storm, basically. The seats were sold for $230. The wheels and tires, I think I got $200 for, if I'm not mistaken. What I'm getting at is the money we made off the seats and the money we made off the wheels and tires basically washed the cost of the Crown Vic and the Bronco. So now you've got your donor and your project vehicle for free. All you got to do is put it together. Wheels and tires were $500. I already had those, but I had to put a value because I did buy them for a different project. Some wheel spacers, throw in another $100. Had to put a radiator in it. It was $179. The roll pan was $160. Various gaskets and antifreeze, $85. There's a bunch of like anywhere from $25 to $85 licks, just nickel and dime stuff. You know, LED taillights, running lights, rocker switches. Seats that are in it were out of the Explorer that we got to do the wagon with. I mean, you can spend as much as you want to on it. I finally just stopped spending on it and started driving it. And then at the end of the day, we were at $3,354.74. So out of that $3,354.74, $920.62 was the drive shaft. The guys at Inland kind of warned me, hey, this drive shaft in this car is pretty much disposable. It's a one-use deal. The yokes are pressed in. They've got a C-clip that holds them on. If you cut that, you can't get the yoke and you can't weld to it anyway. So I ended up having to buy yokes because I didn't want to go ahead and dig for yokes. So I've got two brand new yokes, in the brand new drive shaft. That's why it was $920. I'd say $350 of that at least was just purchasing yokes that honestly I probably have. I probably could have came back home or looked around, found an 8.8 yoke, found a transmission yoke that fit, take them back up there. But at the time I was like, just get it done. I need this. What's not on here is the sheet metal that we use. So there's probably another $250 in metal that's just rolled in the shop supplies that's not on this list. So now here's the kicker. Got 330 hours in the Bronco. I don't know what your time's worth. So at 330 hours, you can do the math. That's going to add up pretty fast. $35,000, $40,000 vehicle, which that is definitely not. If you don't want that vehicle, then you're not, it's kind of hard to justify the time because from a money value, but that's not relevant. We really build these things. So we talk about how cheap they are, but that's how cheap they are. So. Take away the drive shaft blunder, you can be in something like this for $2,400 if you do the work yourself. You could part out your Crown Vic. I was limited to what I could get rid of because the car was damaged in a tornado. But if you had a running and driving car that was in decent shape, you can almost make money off of those things. And from a performance standpoint, it's not the fastest thing in the world, but the way it handles, if it had a wider wheel and tire set on it, which it will, I bet it would outperform cars. The narrow wheelbase on a Crown Vic, it's just, there's something about it. It's very Mario Kart. It feels safe, which could be dangerous, but you're not going to outperform it money-wise. One of my favorite comments, I can't believe you wasted a 78 Bronco doing that. The funny part is this truck sat in a field in Texarkana on its frame, no axles under it, for a while, like years, rotting away. My friend Alan rescued it from Texarkana, I want to say 5 or 6 years after that. Drove all the way up there, put axles underneath it just to load it on a trailer. At least it wasn't on the ground at that point. But when I brought it home, it had no rear quarter panels. It had completely rusted the fender wells out of the rear. The only thing holding them intact was the layers of Bondo. 30 days later, I'm driving it to work. So when somebody says, I can't believe you wasted a 78 Bronco, I pretty much want to tell them to f off because they have no idea what they're talking about. You know, this is a vehicle again. I didn't waste anything. I get when a purist doesn't like it, but don't tell me I wasted it. It's got a whole new life. Content thieves. I didn't know it was a thing. The video was the video. It got 21,000 views. Legitimately, that week after that, people started filming the content off the YouTube channel episodes, patching them together, sending them to TikTok as if they were their own. Film it in reverse, I guess, to skew whatever catches if it's stolen content. Filmed it while it's being shown on a TV or a computer, so it wasn't like downloaded and manipulated. They filmed the presentation, deleted all audio, made up their own stories using an AI-generated voice, and it's frustrating. And to see somebody just steal it and labeling it as their own and getting paid for it because the channels are monetized because they've done it so much to so many people. It's frustrating. I can't do anything. Shout out to everyone that sent me the messages of the person doing it. I'm not gonna show it. I'm not gonna give them any more publicity than they got out of it. But it's cool to see people going to bat for you. And that's what I love about this community. When somebody else steps up and says, hey, that's Mugg Customs build, this guy's a thief, that's cool. I guess it's a form of flattery. If somebody's, doesn't want to take the time to put in the work, just wants the payoff. But the irony of it is, like, they're really good at it. They're good at editing. They're good at production. Like, I would pay you to do this for me. You're good at it. But of course, they don't respond to you. Stolen on TikTok. It's stolen on a couple of Facebook entities that are they have a large following, hundreds of thousands of followers. And looking at the pages, it looks like they're doing this to a lot of people. So I get it. I'm not the only one. I won't be the last one, but I'm not gonna act like it doesn't bother me. It does, and it sucks. And I feel now for anybody that has that happen to them. It's real easy to say, what are you crying about? But I'm crying about it. It's my shit. That's what I'm crying about. At some point you probably ought to try to pay some bills and stuff. It's go ahead and start this over. I think there's keys in it. No. Oh, it's got headliner in it. Oh yeah, I don't want any part of whatever's living in there. Okay, I'm gonna go see if I can't find some wheels and tires, or at least knock some dirt off of it. Stop, you're hurting me. No brakes. Okay, so we don't have brakes. No. I'm gonna put the phone down so I don't destroy something.
Put this one back on just a little so I don't die from the bumper killing me if it accidentally falls out. I've seen dirt daubers before, but this is elite construction. Borderline creepy. At least put this down there. Might be softer than the concrete. Hell yeah. Professional installation and removal. So what we're gonna do, take a small piece, ball it up into a small ball. So we're gonna do this area here. We're gonna wet the ball and wet the bumper. And you just wanna gently rub it. There's something about that aluminum that mixes with the water and the rust, and it makes like a aluminum oxide paste. Add some more water as you need it. And it's not the pressure and it's not the coarseness of the aluminum foil. It's the actual reaction between the water and the foil. You can also get tied in those corners around those bumper bolts. And you don't want it all cleaned off. You want it to look old, but this is definitely something you can get your kids involved with. You can get your friends involved with. It's not high pressure. It only has good results. Excuse me. I'm allergic to work. Oh. Like I said, it's not perfect, but considering that whole top layer was solid rust, that's going to work on a patina truck for sure. This is where we'll start though, for sure. So I'm gonna try to get in here with some copper and weld these up because I don't want to get into this curve. I'm not that guy. And if I can get that established where that's, you know, thicker, I might even be able to cut this part out completely. Okay, shed a little new life in there. There's a pinhole there, there. We get to where that's something somebody's looking at, that's a win. So here's the patch panel we worked on yesterday at the end of the day. This kind of needs to go down more. I'm sure there's gonna be a shit ton of people telling me this is wrong, and it probably is, but I'm doing it this way. Let's do some elite rust removal or just primer over it. One of the two, I can't remember. Inside of this is primable or weldable primer. Guaranteed never to rust, ever. The fact that I'm never gonna be happy with it anyway, so let's just commit to it and fix it instead of spending all day trying to make it perfect and then still end up hating it. Let's just commit, learn from it, move along. Eventually, another 400 tries, you'll get it perfect, right? I think if I'm gonna have to work on it though, I want it to work on the bottom, so I'll try to get the top as good as I can. That way all you knuckleheads that talk shit will have to bend over at least. Hey, don't be burning through. Oh, body guy wanted. That'll get there, it's just. You can tell the definite low spots in the seam. But again, we made this out of a piece of sheet metal. And get behind there and just knock those up and then sand it flush, but I may just leave it like it is. Wasn't really even planning on working on this just yet, but I don't know. That kind of caught my eye and I wanted to do it. Man, it looks so much better on the ground, not right in your face.